I'm Simon Hudson. I've got 3 companies. I've sold out to Cloud 2 now. I left that business in April this year completely, but I have a second clinical business, proper clinical business, and a third small technical consulting business. Particularly in the board meeting, because I find those the most valuable part of TAB. And there's 2 parts of that. One is hearing the problems that other people have got and learning from those. And there's lots and lots of things that I have avoided doing that I would have done by listening to what people said. And one of those, now getting more specific, early on was some advice. It wasn't given to me, it was given to somebody else on the board, which was don't do HR stuff yourself because you're not an HR person. Go and get an HR professional to do that so you can focus on running the business and doing what you're great at. And so that's become my mantra. Every time I found something that we, the business, have as an activity, a necessary activity which isn't core, we've found somebody else to do it for us. And I remember a situation probably 6-7 years ago when Tara, my business partner at the time, and I were having some personal challenges with each other. I mean, we're both great people. I really like him, super guy, but we were just not getting on. It was down to the stress in the business. And Tab very specifically helped me deal with the falling out that we'd had. And interestingly, the solution we had was I walked away from the business for 3 weeks. I had a big business trip to the US planned, and instead of doing what I would normally do, which was to go off, deal with emails, deal with calls, be fully accessible, I just went, no, sod it. On the basis of advice I'm given, so I'm going. Nobody is to contact me unless the wheels are falling off the business. And I think maybe in the course of 3 weeks while I was out, I dealt with 3 calls and maybe half a dozen significant emails, but I was basically unavailable. And I came back having taken that advice, and not only had the wheels not fallen off the business, actually I'd removed myself as a crutch. The team were working much better because they no longer lent on me whenever they felt that they needed to. And that was actually a turning point in the business for myself and my business partner. Our relationship recovered very quickly, but the business itself stopped automatically leaning on the 2 business leaders for everything that they needed. And that was a fantastic lesson, changed the business. And actually, following that, Tara and I never had a falling out because it de-stressed us sufficiently, letting the business run itself with us leading instead of managing. What I can't do is very easily find the opportunity to step outside the business to act as a leader, work on the business or in the business. I can't find the time to do that very often unless I've got something that forces me to do it, and TAB is part of that. And I consider that so important that I would rather compromise some management tasks in order to focus on the leadership tasks. So I think, for me, the trick is I've got to understand what my purpose in the business is, and my purpose is to lead the business, not to fill in a form or talk to a customer or something. I can, it might be painful, but I can rearrange those other things or delegate those things. And the danger is if you don't, you'll never get the hang of deferring, focusing on what's important. Clearly I get value out of TAB, otherwise I wouldn't still be here. But it would be wrong to say that I have always been absolutely committed and evangelical about it. There have been many occasions when I've got up at whatever time it would be on a Tuesday morning or whatever their TAB meeting, do I really want to go today? And usually I've said, no, I should go because I feel committed. And then on the drive to the board meeting, I've gone, oh yeah, there's this thing that is really important to me. It's been sitting in the back of my mind, and invariably I've got to the TAB board meeting, talked about something which has only occurred to me on the drive there, and had massive value out of it. And that's happened so many times now that I find the getting over the do I really want to go today easy. Usually the moment of doubt comes up. I've got all these things I need to do this week or today. Can I afford to take the time, half a day to go and spend it on TAB? But the answer has always been, when I go and do it, the sessions have been more valuable than doing the thing that I had to do on time. Sometimes the problem that I take to a TAB board meeting it was the one that was taking up my time and gets resolved. But oftentimes it's something else which is even more important that I haven't considered until I had that step outside the business for half a day and reflect on what I really need to do. So that's been what's kept me coming back time and time again.